The Magus of Java, Teachings of an Authentic Taoist Immortal by Costa Dineos. Introduction. Imagine a world where the mind and soul of a man are free to reach their greatest potential, where powers once considered supernatural or paranormal are a simple fact of life. Imagine a place where diseases, previously thought incurable, can be treated with the uncomplicated administration of the healer's own abundant life energy. A place where mankind can readily communicate with earthbound spirits, where powerful yogis can speak with the Creator God himself. Wouldn't it be wonderful to dwell in such a domain? The stuff of fairy tales, myths and legends, storybooks, and Hollywood celluloid. Wouldn't life have a distinct flavour, a tangy zest, if such things were indeed true? Welcome to my world. I live in such a place, where all the extraordinary things I've suggested are real and incontrovertible. In my world, Western science and Eastern mysticism walk hand in hand, embraced and inseparable, mirror aspects of the same reality, equally factual and valid. The opportunity to grow is there every waking moment, the gift of our own great potential. You might suppose that such a destiny is far away, but in truth it is at mankind's doorstep. There can be no doubt that humanity is once again in the process of changing. Traditions are evolving as cross-cultural barriers continue to fall. Old values, ideas, and concepts are no longer blindly accepted. People of all creeds, races, and nations have become less hesitant to question, to ask why. The mind of a man is in a frenzy as never before. Technology growing logarithmically by leaps and bounds. We have set foot on the moon and touched the bottom of the ocean. We have moved at many times the speed of sound and have viewed the faces of the planets around us. We control the power of the atom and can replace a crippled human heart with that of a suitable and willing donor. We are a step away from creating artificial intelligence, silicon-based intelligence. We have even invaded the sanctity of the gene and created clones. It seems that our quest for knowledge is constrained only by energy, time, and financial allocation. We have made much social progress. Despite discriminatory distribution, education levels are at an all-time high for the human race. The phenomenon of human serfdom and subjugation is on the wane. Rebellion is evident all over the world. People are aware of their rights and are willing to fight, and perhaps even to die for them. No simple thing, this, when you consider that the economies of all historic empires were founded on slavery. Even more stirring is the fact that many individuals are now willing to fight and die for other people's rights, perhaps more so than in any other period in our history. What is equally important is that the self-sacrifice of these heroes is not based on any specific religious belief or practice, but rather on the simple conviction that human rights deserve to be protected. There is a backlash to this, of course. Ethnic and religious fanaticism is on the rise. Fascism troubles us once more. Multinational corporations abuse their power at will for greater profits, bribing corrupt governments to rape their land and use their citizens. The planet's ecological balance has been destroyed permanently, some people claim. Our flora and fauna are dying. The planet is suffering. The almighty dollar rules, and consumerism is the creed of the day. It seems that for all our power, for we are powerful, we have yet to answer the fundamental questions of life. Who are we? Where are we going? Why are we here? What are our inherent capabilities? What our final potential? Do we live on after death, as is believed? What is true happiness, and how can we reach it? Is there indeed a creator God? The list is endless, as old as man himself. It is possible for us to answer these questions. The secret to a successful resolution of these basic inquiries, however, is that we must make a committed effort as a species, not as nations or groups of people, to find the answers. The method required is as simple and as difficult as that. Humanity has developed along many different lines. There are as many cultural approaches to life as there are natural and sensory stimuli. Some cultures are visual, others acoustic, others olfactory, others intuitive. It's hard to quantify human culture with precision, and such an analysis is far beyond the scope of this book. However, it is possible to say, speaking very generally, that, as a dominant tendency, Western science has turned outward, its intent being to quantify and modify man's environment to suit man's wishes. Eastern science, on the other hand, has turned inward, attempting to quantify and develop the innate capabilities of the human species and understand its role in the scheme of things. While it is very dangerous and unscientific to make statements of this sort, for the time being, it's important that I take the standpoint, if for no other reason than to clarify the purpose of this text. Let me return to a phrase, a committed effort as a species. This statement implies that we humans must pierce through our ethnic and national barriers and work together. History tells us that incredible events have unfolded whenever we were able to temporarily cross our self-imposed thresholds. The Hellenistic age, for example, clearly shows us what can be achieved through cultural interaction. In the 4th century BCE, ancient Greece met with ancient India, and the destiny of the world was forever and quite radically changed. The exploits of King Alexander and his men, however, are not directly pertinent to this book. The point is, there is no reason that we today cannot duplicate what the ancients achieved then, and that is to learn from each other in order to grow, to survive, perhaps even to thrive. In the 19th century, Kipling wrote, "East is east and west is west, and never the twain shall meet." He was wrong. East is meeting west today, and will continue to do so if we can just nurture their union. To realize this, we must ensure that both cultures approach each other with mutual respect, open themselves completely to each other, and share their conclusions. It is not an easy task. Chinese culture, and more specifically, Taoist culture, has taken the West by storm. Acupuncture is practiced everywhere. Chinese restaurants are ubiquitous. Kung Fu movies and TV shows are popular far and wide. Meditation has been recognized as a bio-behavioral state by Western science. The Tao Te Ching is being read by university students all over the world, and many Western businesses are using the I Ching and Feng Shui, Chinese divination methods, in their day-to-day decision-making. And yet, despite the popular appeal of Chinese Taoist culture, a fine fusion of East and West has only begun to take place in recent years. For the most part, people in the West either entirely reject the Eastern approach as mumbo-jumbo, or embrace it with religious fervor as more ancient and spiritual than Western science. Both of these attitudes are erroneous. The first presumptuously rejects the value of Chinese learning. The second takes tried and proven biophysical techniques developed over millennia and turns them into dogma. This problem is compounded by the fact that many Westerners and Chinese alike are too eager to push what little tidbits of knowledge they have down consumers' throats in a desperate quest for money. The Chinese themselves are responsible for much of this. There is unfortunately no such thing as Chinese science. Instead, there are family and clan sciences and arts developed by the people of the Chinese nation over millennia. The knowledge developed by the Chinese was never widespread, not even within China itself. It was the prerogative and the power base of the privileged few and their families. In the past, a Chinese master never taught his apprentices 100% of his knowledge. Instead, he retained, say, the foremost 10% for himself alone. Perhaps he would write down the rest in a document for his favorite student to be opened after death. The result of this approach was that the sum of each clan's learning decreased by 10% of each generation, until some charismatic student was able to decipher the mystery and return to the status of the original teacher, at which point the cycle went on with his students and so forth. The capabilities and exploits of the masters become the stuff of legend, and later the storyline of the Chinese opera. Today, they are the essence of all Kung Fu movies. To make matters worse, the master almost never worked together. The concept of a Western university where knowledge is shared and experiences compared was an alien one for them. Power was meant to be used for profit, material and spiritual. More often than not, martial masters challenge each other. Much knowledge was forfeited in this manner because the bested master frequently lost his life as well. To our Western culture, such an approach seems shocking, to say the least. Information dissemination is evident everywhere. Indeed, it is very difficult, even undesirable, to keep knowledge secret or proprietary in our society. Yet there is a way that a complete union of these two cultures can be accomplished, and that is simply by the creation of a new science that is neither East nor Western, but a union of both. Bold visionaries of generations past have foretold such discipline. I believe that it is mankind's destiny to come together in this fashion, and that such a science, combining the orthological approach of the West and the mystical discipline of the East, is being forged in our day and age. The story, in essence, represents the future direction chosen by humanity's awakening desire for a better life and a higher truth. You will find many parallels with readily available existing texts. The main difference, however, between this book and any other is that it is representative of a working, extant system, not a historical account of something that once was. It is fact, not superstition or a dogmatic system of beliefs. There is a man in Indonesia who is a master of the ancient science of Nekong, or internal power. His name is John Chang, and he is my teacher. Mr. Chang was first presented to the world in the award-winning documentary Ring of Fire, filmed by the brothers Lorne and Lawrence Blair. His privacy was protected by the rather ignominious pseudonym Dynamo Jack. In this documentary, Master Chang shocked the world by demonstrating the impossible. First, he generated an electrical current of high amperage inside his own body to heal Lorne of an eye infection, and then he zapped Lawrence and their sound recorders, utilizing the same energy. In a dramatic conclusion, Master Chang then used this bioenergy to set up a crumpled newspaper ablaze, warning that researchers that the same power that had healed Lorne could easily be ready to kill a man as well. It was the first documented demonstration of Nekong given to the Western world. What is even more amazing is that tens of thousands of people around the world, myself included, readily believed it, and that the two brothers had no idea what it was that they were filming at the time. In order for you to fully understand what the term Nekong implies, you have to work your way through this text. What is important at this point is that, for the first time in human development, a man who, according to Chinese culture, is a Hissian, a Taoist Immortal, is willing to come forth and reveal to the West the truth behind his teaching. John Chang is unique in the annals of mankind. Like the Jedi Knights of the Star Wars saga, he has amazing preternatural abilities: telekinesis, pyrogenesis, electrogenesis, telepathy, levitation, remote viewing, even astral projection, for lack of a better term. Thousands of people have witnessed him do these things. My teacher's power is unfathomable to the Western mind. A small percentage of its accumulated energy can instantly overpower or heal a human being or larger animal. And yet Mr. Chang is a Westerner, a resident of urban Java. He visits Europe and the United States often. He has searched through China for others like himself with the intent of learning and sharing. A unique trait for one such as he, as you will discover. It could be said that Mr. Chang is the ultimate combination of East and West, or more poetically, that in the bridge between East and West, he is one of the foundation towers. This text will essentially cover the life history and preliminary teachings of John Chang. I have attempted to follow the method suggested by the Jedi and present Eastern concepts in a manner that all Westerners can understand. As such, I pray that this volume will be up to the task and honour John Chang and his teachings. Perhaps we are indeed fortunate to be living in that time in our development when God has decreed that the separate branches of human science come together. Perhaps we of the West need the East to save our world from ourselves. Constantinos, Athens, Greece.